Good morning guys, it's Chris from the Ultimate Recycler. Welcome back to the channel. We are now looking at part 17 of the Great Cleanup, previously known as the Great Backyard Cleanup. Those of you who've been following what's going on, my property is going to be auctioned in just under 4 weeks. Thanks for all your comments and support on the last video, and you probably won't see this one for a week or so from what I'm talking now. Tomorrow will be a scrap run, so that will be the next one I put up. Anyway, this part we'll be dealing with cleaning up some more stuff. I've just loaded the ute with some e-waste to take out the transfer station. I had some really good comments about, you know, the whole cleanup and some great support. I even got some texts from some subscribers to offering help, so that's just fantastic and we really appreciate that. I enjoy a challenge, and you don't get one much bigger than this, although a few of you sort of figured that it was 4 weeks to the auction, so I've only got 4 weeks to clean it up. That's not quite true, because there probably will be a 60-day settlement if it sells at auction, so there's another 2 months. However, that time's going to fly pretty quickly. Kristen and I have been talking about moving into her shop, and it's going to be a logistical nightmare as well. So there's lots of hurdles to overcome, but you know, we've got positive frames of mind, and I'm actually quite enjoying the vibe each day brings. And if you don't look at the whole picture, you can deal with it. It's like a few people mentioned, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Well, this is an enormously big elephant, but we're pretty hungry, so we'll see how we go. All right, so I'll show you the ute. I'm running some stuff out of the transfer station first, and then the rest of this episode we'll get back into the yard. I'll get into the shed. I'll show you a few things that I'm finding, and we'll talk about what other developments have happened with the property so far. Oh, Christine's just poked her head down here. So far there's only been one inspection. I've made a list of everything that I'm going to take, which is quite substantial, and we'll have a look through that in a tick. But let's go to the transfer station first. Okay, we're loaded up with the e-waste. Now this is stuff that gets dropped off to my shop that I don't want, or I've salvaged the cords and whatever boards or anything that I want out of it. I do get a lot of stuff dropped off for e-waste that's perfectly saleable, and I can test and tag it and sell it through my shop. But this is all stuff that I've gutted, and I can take it out to the transfer station for nothing, which is great. So we're right to go out, Coco? We go for a drive? Hey? Okay, let's go. Okay guys, Coco and I are back from the transfer station. We got rid of the e-waste, and I've been loading the van with some steel to go to Melbourne tomorrow. And if you follow my videos in chronological order, you would have already seen that video. Getting ready for the next load now. So I've been weighing up some of these electric motors. I've had some of these stacked here for quite a long time, and I've just rounded up a few more recently. So I've got about 30 kilos in each crate, and that works out at 900 kilos in the crates, plus this great big monster just here. And there's also a couple of fairly serious electric motors there that I wouldn't get in crates, and there's certainly more than 30 kilos. So we should have just over a ton of electric motors. I had plans of actually stripping the copper wire out of them, but given everything that's going on, they're going to be cashed in as electric motors as they are, and I'll probably do those the next scrap run to Melbourne. I'm not sure when that will be. It might be in a week or two. I'm going to keep a fairly steady pace on scrap going to Melbourne while the prices are good, and it's actually worked out that you know, just when I have to have the pressure to clean my yard up, the prices are at record highs. So that's the universe being nice to me. So over a ton of electric motors should bring back over $1,000. I'm not sure what I'll make the rest of the load with. I might, if I get organised, get some more aluminium, or some aluminium to take down. I've sold all the cast, but I do have a lot of extruded around. So yeah, the yard's still pretty messy, as you can see, but this is the messiest part. There is a lot of aluminium and domestic aluminium in there, which I'll have to dig out. There's also a pile here under the grass. So, and a lot of these old pans are fairly heavy, thick aluminium, so they'll weigh up pretty good. I've also got numerous piles of lead, of soft lead around the place. I'm not sure on the price of lead at the moment. I haven't sold any for a long time, but in the little clear out I've been doing here, I found a substantial stack of lead in that milk crate there. So we might have to do a load of that as well. So I've just about finished for today. It's been a fairly hectic day, moving a lot of stuff around. I do have to get the Roundup out and spray some of that. I know I've said I don't like spraying, but I'm going to have to try and keep it neat. So I think that'll do for today. Tomorrow we're going to Melbourne first thing, which you would have seen, as I mentioned. And then when I'm back in the afternoon, I think I might, depending what the weather's like, I think I might start scrapping out a bit more stuff here, clean up some of this pile, and we'll get into the shed and I'll show you some things in there that I'm finding and digging out. And yeah, I think these these cleanup series videos are just going to be jumping from one pile to another and organising scrap runs, and occasionally I'll dig out some stuff to show you. I do have to get into that shipping container, and if I have to move, I'm going to have to try and sell that. Also, I did say I was going to run through a list of what I'm keeping. Let's do that now. The real estate agent, of course, needs to know if he's showing people around. He needs to be able to point out what's staying and what isn't. Basically, this yard's going to be empty, and that's going to be quite bizarre to see. So, right down the back there, that gate, you can just see behind my trailer. The gate was there, but I put the galvanised iron on because I did have some theft of copper out of my yard, so I had to make the gate more secure. I'm going to be taking that galvanised iron because I actually have a use for it at home. The old van I might throw on eBay. I'm not sure what I'll do with the van. It's full of vintage computer stuff at the moment. The shipping container I will sell where it is. I do have to prune the tree back. But of course I need to empty it first, and there's all sorts of wondrous treasures in there. That's going to take a long time to empty. And if I'm under pressure, it might be a matter of loading it all in the van and taking it to a storage shed for short-term storage until I can sort it out. The lean-to here that I built a while back, I'm going to take down because I have a use for that timber at home. So that's going to be removed. The garden sheds I may have mentioned. There's only one that was here when I came here. When I first moved into this place, this yard was not a blank canvas. It was actually overgrown with weeds, but it was pretty well just empty. The tenant that was in here had dogs, and it was a bit of a mess, but just overgrown mess. It wasn't mess like my sort of mess. So that garden shed there, my workshop shed, that stays. It's the only structure in the backyard that's staying. I did build this one, but I'm not sure if I could be bothered taking it down, so that one may stay as well. But the other two garden sheds, which we will get into in a future episode, and that's going to be kind of exciting because there's some pretty cool stuff in them from what I can remember. So there we go over there. One of them's got some bottles on the roof going purple in the sun. That one's absolutely chockers, and I'm not totally sure what's in there. I know there's a very early shearing plant engine in there that I was going to restore one day. But you can see you can't even get in. It's just been used to shove things out of the rain. It's a shed that I actually got from a backyard I cleaned up and just rebuilt it here. I don't think I'll necessarily take them home, but I will, once I have them empty, I can advertise them, you know, maybe just for $100 and someone comes and dismantles it. Same with the other shed, which I keep a bit of my scrap metal in. What else have we got? The clothesline I put in, that's mine. There wasn't anything really here other than some wire just strung up between a couple of poles. This fence I put in, and I'm going to take that for the same reason that I'm going to take the iron off the back gate, because I do have a use for it. So there's the other shed that I use as my scrap metal shed, and various other things, a bit of e-waste and stuff. So that's going as well. This pole and the TV antenna and the amplifier that goes with it are all mine, and I will be taking those. Let's have a look in the house while we're talking about what's mine. All the light shades throughout the whole house are mine. They're just the really old style glass ones, and they're too good to leave there. The gas heater over there under my boxes, that's mine. I put that in. Likewise, the kitchen stove, I've mentioned, I think, that we bought that and put that in here. Kristen and I actually lived here for a little while before we bought our house. And I said to the landlords at the time, you know, we're buying these things and putting them in. You guys don't have to worry, but we will be taking them when we go. And they said, yep, no worries, that's fine. Down the hallway, and this is the old bedroom that's now just a storage room, and it's probably very hard to see here. The ceiling fan's mine. All the shelving throughout the house is mine. When you're in one spot for 20 years, you do accumulate a lot of things. So it's going to be fairly empty. Sorry, the vision's not very good here. We're dark hall looking out to the bright light. It's going to be fairly empty when we go, but that's fine. It's just a lot of moving things around. And the real estate the agent actually said to me, you know, it might be easier just to leave some of these things here. What would you want with them? And then before I even answered, he looked at me and said, oh, well, you are a second-hand dealer, I guess. It makes sense. So, you know, that stove's worth a couple $100 if I put it on Facebook Marketplace. So why leave it here? Okay, so we'll finish up here now. I'll be back here tomorrow afternoon after our scrap run to Melbourne, and we'll get back into a bit more cleaning. And if there's any more updates with the property, there's no more inspections that I know of at this stage, I'll certainly keep you guys informed with what's going on. And thanks again for everyone's support. It's been fantastic. And a few have commented on my positive attitude. Well, surprisingly, I'm not actually that stressed. It's just, it's actually like a whole big new adventure. And hopefully I get a long time to sort all this out, or I can come to some arrangement with the new owner so that there's no mad panic and I get to process everything properly, and I will leave the place absolutely spick and span for them. Okay, good morning guys. It's a couple of days later. I'm in the shop, but I'm not technically open. Bit of a twist to this video. We're going to start moving some cabinets out of here. So I'll take you into Christine's shop in a second, but we've decided that these big shelves, very, very heavy, large shelves in my tech room, we're going to move them out today. It's much easier to do it on a weekday when the place isn't so busy. On a weekend, we try and do things like this, and there could be 30 people in the shop and you can't move. So I'm going to unpack these shelves at the moment, and I've got to continue to semi-open my shop because I have to clear this aisle to be able to trolley these shelves out, and we're going to take them into the storeroom next door to Christine's shop. And the idea there is that we're basically starting to go ahead as if it's definite that I'm out of here. You know, it's weird, but I'm kind of almost would be disappointed. Well, let's walk around to Christine's shop while I'm talking. I'd almost be disappointed if this move didn't happen now. You kind of, you know, I'm happy that it's the end of an era in that it had to happen eventually. And, oh, I need to go and get the key because Coco's in there and the door's locked. Okay, I have the key. Now, I was saying this move would have to happen eventually, and rather than me hang around for another 10 years and be that much older and probably have accumulated even more stuff, it's probably just the right time now to consolidate all my stuff and move in with Christine to reduce our overheads. And here he is. Hello Coco, you've been pinching soft toys again.
Yep, she's playing with all the toys.
Hello Christine. So I'll just show you where we're going to put these big shelves. This is Christine's shop for those of you who haven't seen it, and if you can imagine my stuff in here as well. Clearly we're going to have to reduce a lot of quantity between us, but we are pretty well now set on the path of making one even more awesome shop instead of two awesome shops. And because we can share it, it's going to lower our overheads, and it's all kind of exciting. So yes, there's a lot of work to do, but yes, we're up for it. Coco, you better tell Mummy that you've got a Barbie doll.
Oh, she's got all sorts of dolls.
So these shelves are going through this back storage door into a bit of a storage room. They're going to take a bit to maneuver, and we have measured and they will fit. Sorry, the lights are strobing there. So Christine's already moved some cabinets in here. She's such a trooper. So we're going to set up this room to be as efficient as we can. Obviously there's lots of fabric because Christine does a lot of fabric stuff. I will link her channel underneath if you haven't seen her channel, which has actually gone berserk lately. It's past mine in subscribers, so who would have thought? So yep, that's all good. We've got to, obviously I've got some more stuff stored in there, so we've got to reevaluate what we're going to keep, be more efficient with our storage. And here's all the soap that we bought yesterday. If you saw our scrap run video the other day, we picked up this soap in Melbourne. So just when we need to make more room, we're bringing more stock in. All right, I'm going to try and move these cabinets. I've managed to get the first cabinet out on my little piano trolley. They're very heavy cabinets, and the back board isn't actually plywood. It's about 12mm thick MDF, so it does make them very heavy. Christine's manning the broom. We hopefully can squeeze around without moving too many of these cabinets, and we'll see if we can juggle it into the back room. So the first cabinet's into the storeroom, we're out to get the second one in. I still have to move a couple of things. I'm going to just use some cheap shelving just to line the walls, because obviously I'm still going to be open for some time and need to reduce my stock. So even though we're taking things out of the shop, I'm going to try and keep it pretty full, and I've certainly got lots to move in from out the back. After this cabinet's gone, I do want to try and access that doorway there. That door goes through into the hallway, and directly opposite that door is the old bedroom or storage room that I have to get a lot of stuff out, and it's much easier to bring it straight across through into this room. So that will be the next step after I move this cabinet. So here we go. I thought I'd show you in real time how I move big heavy cabinets on my own. This little piano trolley I bought years ago has been my saviour. I've been able to empty complete houses on my own with this. Now obviously you've got to be careful when you're dealing with very heavy things, so don't rush, do it slowly, just keep an eye on everything. And I usually do wardrobes and bookcases this way on my piano trolley. Try and get it fairly central. It'll balance on the wheels, and it doesn't matter how heavy the item is. Once you get it onto that trolley, and even pianos, it rolls quite well. They're pneumatic tyres. Sometimes you need extra pressure in the tyres. They're a little flat at the moment, but they handle this all right. So yeah, just a matter of wheeling it out. My floor in the shop's very all over the place. There's loose boards and there's steps, and you know, I've talked about the state of the building before. It's certainly not the best. So getting around corners is more difficult with big things, and sometimes it's really hard to get wardrobes out of bedrooms into hallways, but we managed to get past out the front of the shop. And you watch the trolley go over the step here. I can lift one end to take the pressure on the other, rolls the wheels over the step, likewise the other end. And when you're turning, you pivot it on one end of the axle only, so the other end can swing around, and it's really easy to maneuver. So there we go, pushing this shelf system off to Christine's shop. Lucky it's not far to go. Okay, cabinets in position and secure. They actually don't look as imposing in here now as we thought they would be, but they're not far off the roof, so that'll give us some good sturdy storage. All the soaps have been put away. I do have to adjust some shelves for another cupboard. So that will end today's furniture move around, although I do want to access that other door in my tech room. So let's wind this video up now. I'm back in the tech room. I've been moving things around a bit. I have to be aware that I'm still trading here for probably a few months at least, so I don't want to leave it totally disorganized. But I did manage to get to that door. I haven't opened it yet. I have moved a few cabinets around, and I still have to deal with a bit of stock so that it's presentable for the weekend. It's actually Friday here now. I'll be open tomorrow. Have a look at the wall. I told you this building's had some termites. There was a picture in front of that. So yes, I'll have customers through here tomorrow, so I have to have it all neat enough and accessible, and hopefully sell some more things. I've still got to find a spot for a few cabinets. So let's go through this door. I'll put something in front of this for the weekend so that customers can't wander through, because you'd be amazed how many people just open doors if it doesn't say staff only or something. But I want to be able to easily access it. Oh, creak, it hasn't been open for some time. And you can see there, that goes into the hallway. There's a pile of stuff in front of it. But now I can access that storeroom, the old bedroom, and I can bring things through here rather than the challenge of trying to get them down the narrow hallway and past the counter, which would be almost impossible. So that's good. I'm pleased I've got this done. We'll finalize this video here. So that will conclude part 17 of this great cleanup. It's going to be an ongoing saga. Hopefully you enjoy the challenge, or enjoy watching me handle the challenge. What can I say? These videos, these episodes are going to jump from one spot to another. Sometimes I'll be in the backyard, sometimes I'll be in the shed. It wasn't planned to get these two big cabinets into Christine's shop this week, but we just, you know, each day is going to bring a new adventure, and we're just going to do what we think is most important at the time. But given that I'm still going to be trading here for at least a couple of months, it was a good chance to get those big cabinets out and still have this shop functional. And it now allows me to operate through here to empty that storage room, which is going to be important. As far as updates on the sale goes, it's about 3 weeks to go. There was one inspection, and I found out since that those people, the real estate agent didn't think they were that keen. I think they were planning to use the shop for their daughter down the track, and I think they were actually probably hoping to keep me in here for a while, which I might get a few more years. You never know. There's supposed to be another inspection first thing Saturday morning, and then maybe one Saturday afternoon. So the next episode will let you know what's going on there. I'll also collate the information from the scrap run which you saw last and the previous scrap runs, and we'll keep an update on how much value and how much weight I'm actually taking out of the backyard and sending off for recycling, or at least, remanufacturing as they do with scrap metals. So, and that's all stuff I've kept out of landfill over the years when cleaning out other people's sheds, because most people get a skip in, throw it all out. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you in the next episode. Bye for now.